We're back with another NXT UK review, March 18th, 2021. Just to go right into it, the main event of this match was a beauty. Highlight, great match. NXT UK main events are always great matches, but this one in particular, chef's kiss. So let's go straight into it. We kick off with a recap of The Bump, where they were doing kind of like a fancied up recap of The Bump, where they were doing Trent Seven's weigh-in. Jordan Devlin coming in at 195 pounds, or well under the 205 weight limit. Trent Seven coming in, getting on those scales, 204.25 pounds. Trent Seven gets his title match tonight. The episode that just finished 10 minutes ago. Let's go. Great match. To kick off the actual show, we've got Ashton Smith, powerhouse kind of. He was doing a lot of tag team wrestling. The Whoop guy versus Nathan Frazier / Ben Carter. They're really pushing Nathan Frazier. I guess I don't know which title you'd have him go for, except the Cruiserweight title, but you don't know what's going to happen with the Cruiserweight title, because I'm pretty sure Jordan Devlin turned up on NXT, so like it was inevitable he would win this main event, but you know, we move. I don't know what they're going to do with Nathan Frazier going forward. It's kind of weird. We'll have to see what happens post-COVID. But yeah, this match was kind of Nathan Frazier trying to use his speed to overpower Ashton Smith's power. And to be honest, this match was a lot more competitive than I thought it would be. I mean, when you're trying to showcase a brand new talent, you'd have them go over in fairly convincing fashion. To be honest, he had to fight a lot against Ashton Smith, which is good. I mean, I think if you're trying to build both guys and you're trying to do a slow burn with Nathan Frazier, this is good because it kind of paints Ashton Smith pretty well, better than if you had Nathan Frazier going over convincingly, especially because he's new, he's young, he's smaller than Ashton Smith. But yeah, so the majority of this match was Smith trying to overpower Frazier. There were some cool highlights. I mean, Smith tries to keep Frazier grounded. I think the highlight was the finish. So it's hard to. So Smith goes for a Irish whip. It's reversed. He's thrown to the corner. Frazier hits him with a cannon drop kick into the corner. Then Frazier does a springboard coast to coast, which the camera angle they used was behind Smith, and then they showed a highlight of it from Frazier's point of view. I'm not sure if it connected. It looked like it hit the leg. It's kind of weird, the camera angles they used. I wish they'd used a front on one, but I mean, you know, I'm not the one in the editing booth. And then Frazier goes for a senton, but misses. So he doesn't get the win. Then Smith, I think, is going for a kind of like a Blue Thunder bomb. He gets two, and then Frazier kind of reverses, gets out of it, and then he kind of gets up, does a moonsault off the rope, gets Smith down, then goes for a frog splash for the win. I kind of felt that the senton after the coast to coast would have been more effective, but I mean, maybe I'm just wrong, but I feel like that coast to coast was so memorable, like having the finish just off the coast to coast would have been great. But anyway, it was still a good match and it was a good showcase for both of these competitors, and I quite like that they didn't bury Ashton Smith. Moving on, we go to Ilya Dragunov, who was meant to talk and be like, hey, yo, what's up, I'm Ilya Dragunov. He says, I'm sorry for my behavior, and then Gradwell comes in. He has some funny lines. He's like, I can take you again. I've got them written down here. He says, I can beat you in a custody papers on a pole match, which is hilarious. And then a ruble, I think it was a ruble in the bank ladder match, which also was like, that's hilarious. It's kind of going back to his Soviet baby jokes. And then he's like, oh, I can beat you in any match, singles match, tag match or something. Then he says no disqualification. I'm pretty sure he says no disqualification. And then Ilya says, yeah, I'll face in a no disqualification match. I'm pretty sure I couldn't really make out what they were saying at that point, but later on in the episode they reveal that they're going to have a no DQ match next week. Pretty sure Ilya's going to snap and beat the heck out of Gradwell, which is going to be awesome. I don't know what they're going to do, because we go into Walter later on in the night. So I'm thinking they're going to have Dragunov against Walter again and get Dragunov to win that title when he snaps. But they're going to have some time to that. We'll get to the Walter thing later, and I'll tell you why there's going to be time between that. Up next is an Isla Dawn vignette. Very occult, I think is the word. There's tarot cards and stuff. I actually wasn't watching when Isla Dawn debuted, but I know she had like a witch type, like a Wiccan type gimmick, so I guess they're going to go back to that, I believe. And then we have a cute little like self-shot promo from Johnny Saint from his home, and he's just revealing that then we had a little video package for NXT UK. It's like almost like a like what NXT are doing. They're having like beefed up shows of what AEW are doing. They're not pay-per-views because they're usually on a Sunday, but they're having like a beefed up show. It's not a takeover. It's called NXT UK Prelude, which I assume is a prelude to a takeover at some point on April 8th. So the second night of NXT UK Stand and NXT's is it Stand and Deliver? I don't know. The same night as that, I guess, because it's night time here in the UK and afternoon in the US, and I'm probably only going to watch Prelude, but it's going to be like a jam-packed show. The matches they're probably going to announce, it's probably going to be a 2-hour show, maybe. But anyway, I digress, because Johnny Saint reveals that Noam Dar will have a Heritage Cup rules match against Tyler Bate at NXT UK Prelude for a #1 contendership for the Heritage Cup from a kid. I'm thinking Tyler's going to go over and then he'll go on to face a kid and get the Heritage Cup, but I don't know. But that'd be, I quite like the Heritage Cup matches. Like, it's just a different spin on wrestling. After that, we have a Danny Luna from Camden. I go to Camden quite often when I go to London. Versus Meiko Satomura. I don't know why that was a thing I brought up. So this match was basically Danny Luna trying to use her strength advantage and Meiko Satomura using her experience advantage, which it was a good match. For the most part, Meiko Satomura dominated, but there were some really great spots from Danny Luna. In particular, I think one of a really cool spot was Meiko went to the top rope, was taking her time. I think the ref was distracting her kind of. Danny Luna gets up, kicks in the face, so Meiko's on the apron, and Danny Luna she stands on the bottom rope, and Nigel sold it really well. I think it was Nigel that sold it really well. She powers up Meiko for a suplex, and suplexes on the rope always look amazing, and this looked really good, but it kind of hurt both of them. Again, showing that Danny Luna was using her strength. She was winning a lot of the battle of strength things, and then Meiko Satomura was using her experience to counter and reverse. And the end of the match was Meiko. So Danny Luna's kind of got Meiko on a hold. Meiko Satomura gets out, hits her with a bicycle kick to the head, then a buzz kick. The bicycle kick, gets up, Danny's on her knees, buzz kick to the head, and then Meiko hits her with a Scorpio Rising. Beautiful, she steps off. It looks like she steps up off her opponent and hits an axe kick to the back of the head for 3. Beautiful, really good showing from Danny Luna as well. It'd be interesting to see her doing more for NXT UK. Again, obviously I've not been watching as much. I'm not sure if she's been on before. And then a great show of respect at the end from both of them. I really love that Meiko's come in and she's putting over these talents. I know she's there as like a player manager, player coach. So she's there putting, she'll win matches, but she'll put over her opponents, which is kind of what you want the big veteran you have to do. And then occasionally will lose a match and put over someone, like she put over Kaylee Ray. But yeah, we move on to this, like, I love the way they shoot these, like with a backdrop of a neon light of the logo, Ginny and Joseph Connor, and they're like, oh, last week's loss doesn't count because they were pushing what Nigel was saying, it was illegal that Piper hit Joseph Connors with a Piper driver, and it was just funny. Like, I loved their chemistry together. And then Joseph Connor was like, 15 minutes of fame are over, I'm gonna take you on one-on-one, Jack Star. Probably gonna happen next week, but there wasn't like a card to show that, so I'm not too sure. Up next, we've got Walter coming out. My boy Walter. He's like, I am the longest reigning champion in NXT UK. I mean, I think there's only been 3 champions, so that's not hard. And also because of the pandemic, but we move. I mean, to be honest, I kind of want him to like have a Bruno reign and have several thousand days for this one reign. Like, give him the belt for like 5 years, and just have people try and fight him, and then they don't win, and then some, like Nathan Fraser in 5 years' time beats Walter for the title. Be beautiful. Give him that Bruno reign. But yeah, he comes out saying he's beaten everyone, and he's like, Johnny's saying, look over the world, find me an opponent. And then Rampage Brown comes out. He's like, Johnny Saint doesn't have to look all over the world. He's right in the backyard. I'll face you. And then this next part, I don't know how to feel. They're having a stare down. Walter's walking away. Brown grabs him by the arm, pulls him in. Walter's like, what are you doing? Probably in like German. And then Rampage Brown, like, they like grab each other by like the scruff or the neck. I think Rampage Brown gets his hands on Walter's neck and Walter's got him by the scruff. But Rampage Brown pushes Walter down to the ground, and he's like standing over him being like, yeah, you're going to be at the ground, I'm going to take your title. And like, the visual of Walter, this dominant champion for so long, just like being towered over by Rampage Brown, I don't know if I like that. I'm kind of in the mindset when you've got a champion who's been so dominant, and I don't think he's going to drop the belt because they're going to have their match at Prelude in 3 weeks. I don't like seeing your champion, especially a big heel champion. It's kind of weird to call Walter a heel because he's so over, but he's technically a heel. I don't know how I feel about having for me it didn't sit right, but I mean, it made Rampage Brown look really strong. So I mean, if you're trying to quickly build Rampage to be the competitor, then yeah, it works in that aspect, I suppose. I just don't like seeing Walter on the ground. Next is Xia Li, Nina. I keep on saying Xia Li. It's Xia Williams, isn't it? Anyway, and Nina Samuels promo, kind of like backstage vignette thing. I felt like this wasn't as strong as last week's. I think last week's one was shorter and snappier, so it was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, because it's a little bit like cringe comedy, a bit, and I'm not the biggest fan of that kind of comedy, but it was just Xia, just ordering Nina around the gym, going to take her for weights, etc., getting her water, getting her chalk, and then Nina kind of like back chats, and then Xia kicks over the chalk bucket, and it's like, clean that up and make sure you get a workout in. I felt last week's one was more fun, like the editing and stuff was a little bit more haha, and it's like, oh, she could have put all her washing in the dishwasher, and sort of, I felt like this one maybe overstayed its welcome a couple of minutes. But I mean, it keeps building their story together. Then there's a very quick Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams promo where Kenny Williams is like, I got us tag title opportunity in 2 weeks' time, and Amir's like, oh, that's amazing, but we can't cheat. And it's like, no, we won't cheat. They will try and cheat. The highlight of this for me was Amir Jordan was rocking Gangrel shirt, and that's amazing. More Gangrel stuff in WWE, please. I want a Gangrel reference every single week in WWE, and at least one piece of their programming. Gangrel reference. Let's go. Yeah, and then it's kind of the announcement of the Rampage and Walter match next week, and then we move on to the absolutely killer main event. The main event, which I got 3 pages worth of notes on. I don't think anything I've written down can do this match the justice it deserves. Go and watch this match. It is fantastic. It was about 20 minutes. It kind of overran, maybe, I'm looking at the time, 5 minutes past 9, at least on the network it overran. I don't know what it was like on BT Sports, but it started at 22, finished at 5 past, a 25-minute match. Really great. Okay, I'm just gonna go into it. I'm gonna read off my notes, basically, try and summarize as best as I can, but again, just watch this match. So Trent Seven starts off fast, and they're making a point of it. He usually starts off slow, but he's coming fast. He's dropped the weight. He really takes it to Jordan Devlin, big chops, takes him to the outside. They're fighting on the outside. Devlin fights back. Trent gets back on him, hits his head on the ring ropes. They go back inside. They go back out, fight some more. Trent rolls out. Devlin tries to spring over the rope, misses. Trent hits him with a beautiful snapdragon on the outside, which builds into the story of the match going forward, because Devlin's selling his shoulder for his neck and shoulder for the rest of the match. And they get back in. Trent gets Devlin in the corner, hits him with a bunch of chops. Devlin gets one in. Trent puts him back in. A big chop, loud, amazing. Then Seven goes for a slam and the leg drop, which, brother, should have been a 3 count, brother. Leg drop, 1, 2, 3, brother. But we move. I'm sorry, but we should start booking the leg drop as a 3 count once again. Okay. Yeah, and God. Then it kind of starts to get more hard hitting from that point. Devlin hits a beautiful Uranagi. I think, basically an Uranagi on Trent Seven, and then hits a standing moonsault for 2. But he's selling his neck afterwards. He gets on his knees, painful. Devlin starts working over Trent Seven's back, which basically plays into the rest of the finish of the match from here on out. He kind of gets Seven in the corner and stretches him against the ring rope, which I guess, doing the physics, the way you stretch them, it probably isn't going to hurt as much as they sell. Maybe, I don't know. Devlin gets back in the ring, continues to work over Trent Seven's back, and then they start chopping each other. And then Seven comes back with the choppy boys, but Devlin counters again. Then Devlin does a slam and then a leg drop as well. Again, leg drop should be a 3 count straight away. We move. Devlin's going for the 4-leaf clover, but Trent managed to power out of it. Gets a series of chops. Devlin tries to duck one. Trent gets him in a DDT, spikes him. Wow. Trent gets him up and hits an Emerald Flosion, which was hits an Emerald Flosion and gets a 2 count. And then Seven gets Devlin outside and goes for a suicide dive, and the camera work was beautiful. So he hits the suicide dive, and Devlin is laid out on the barricade, and just close up with the camera over the barricade on Devlin. Again, the production work on NXT UK is really good. And then Trent Seven tries to go to the top rope, and he goes for a twisting senton, is the best way I can describe it. It's not a flip, but it's but he misses because he takes too long to get up. and then this is like when the start of the end starts building, where they start hitting big moves on each other. So basically, Devlin gets Trent Seven in a 4-leaf clover, and he has him in it for a good like minute, maybe two, and Trent's like clawing. He's trying to grab the ring rope, but he just can't quite get there. But then he just about gets it. Devlin tries to pull him in the ring. Trent kicks him over, gets on top of him, gets him a single leg crab, but he can't really lock it in properly because of the work on his back, and Devlin manages to get to the rope. And then Trent, this is when the end starts building. Trent gets him up, goes to the 7-star lariat. Devlin reverses, hits him with a headbutt, and then Devlin's trying to go for the Devlin side, but Trent holds onto the rope, so kind of the same as to what Devlin was doing. But Trent managed to get back in control. Like Trent gets his control again, but Devlin kind of. So like Trent's holding on but has his control, but Devlin manages to pull Trent off. It looks like he's going for a Devlin side, but he hits an Emerald Flosion, I believe. Wait, have I got that wrong? No, actually, it's the other way around. Yeah, no, sorry. Trent pulls Devlin up, and hits a 7-star lariat, but only gets a 2 count. And then I think Trent goes for a burning hammer afterwards, but that's reversed, and Devlin hits an Emerald Flosion, but that's a 2 count. Bloody hell, there's so much going on at this. Devlin goes to the top rope, but he's too slow, and Trent chops him in the back of the leg. And this was amazing. Top rope moves terrify me, but they're amazing. So Trent gets up behind Devlin and hits him with a top rope snapdragon, which I was like, oh my god. Then Trent gets him up, hits a burning hammer, but he takes a little bit too long to make the cover. Hooks the inner leg of Devlin. 2.5, Devlin puts his leg under the rope, and it's like, oh, man. And so Devlin climbs back up, holding the ropes. Trent's holding his wrist, trying to pull him out for a for the 7-star lariat, but he can't. And like the ref's like, you can't hold on to him. He's holding the rope, so the ref's trying to push away Trent, which gives Devlin the opportunity to turn around, like fingers to the eye, but like not like a boop like Randy Orton does, like gouging his eyes. This distracts Trent. Trent's like on the ground. Devlin gets him up, hits the Devlin side. It's like 3 count, no, it's a 2, and it's like, oh my god, is Trent actually going to pull this off? But Trent's on the ground. He's crawling. Devlin goes to the top rope, hits a 450 splash off the top rope onto Trent's back, which has been worked over. 3 count. Devlin kind of pulls Trent's hand as he's pinning him to ensure that he doesn't grab the rope. 1, 2, 3. Devlin retains. Kind of what I was expecting, like Devlin to retain, because they've built this story with him and Escobar. But honestly, like, amazing match. Great, brilliant match. Like, I don't know if Trent actually hit to a 4.25, but he was moving fast. He was playing well. I mean, it feels like there's not enough belts in NXT UK for the amount of talent they have. I know they got the Heritage Cup, and they got such a big roster. I kind of want. It's that thing where it's like you don't want too many belts because it devalues the belts, but also I want everyone. I want Devlin to have a belt. I want Walter to hold that NXT UK title forever. I want Trenty to have some sort of belt. I want Tyler Bate to get a belt. I'm a sucker for the baby faces in NXT UK, as you can tell. I want Or make a Satamura to have a belt again. Saka for the faces. I want Ginny to have a belt. She's actually pretty fun, and I've been like, it would be cool to see Ginny kind of being that like what Stone Cold calls a chicken shit heel. It would be interesting to have that, but. Let me know what you thought of today's episode. Leave a comment down below what you thought. Leave a comment down below on any feedback for the show. Anything you want me to go on with, any other content you want me to make. I'm probably going to focus on NXT UK content and then some short form content. I think in the run up to Mania, I'll probably post a couple of Mania related videos in kind of the 2 weeks building to it. Like maybe my favorite men's match, favorite women's match, favorite singles match, stipulation match, etc. Yeah, let me know your thoughts and stick around for more NXT UK. This is gonna be the home of NXT UK reviews. No one else will do it as well, and I will try and upload these as fast as possible after the show.